So it's February, however you choose to say it, 2020. So I'm going to call this my Lexapro check-in. This is February. I think it was April of 2019 that I went off of Lexapro completely. And there were a lot of ups and downs. And I definitely had some long periods where I just was dragging my ass. Let me just say, I had filmed a Lexapro check-in right at the end of December when I was completely burnt out from Vlogmas. And it was pretty sad. And I chose to not do anything with that footage because it was so sort of bleak and depressing. And I'm in a much better place right now. Anyway, let me go through a few of the things that sort of suffered when I stopped Lexapro and talk about where I'm at with them right now. So one of the things that was very, very affected when I completely stopped Lexapro was my sleep. I had a very, very hard time getting to sleep, and I was having insomnia for a long time. I want to say it was probably about a month after I had stopped Lexapro completely that I just had a few nights of severe and incredibly frustrating insomnia. Now, these days I am falling asleep more easily, and the quality of my sleep, that's debatable. I did get a sleep study. I don't know if I ever did a video on that. I should probably do a video on that. And unfortunately, what they found was that, yes, I do have a little bit of sleep apnea, but it's not life-threatening, and it's not so bad that it warrants getting a CPAP machine. So yes, I do have disrupted sleep. So that is probably going to be something that I continue to investigate. If anybody has any recommendations for bite guards or anything, I snore terribly, and I think that that's a huge part of it. I do sleep elevated, that helps a little bit. But if anybody else has any ideas, that would be great. So sleep, for the most part, is actually pretty good. Now, energy-wise, and for me, energy and moods are directly related to each other. That really wasn't doing well. Now, I have felt a boost in my energy levels since I've started doing hypnotherapy. I've only had 2 sessions, and I accept that that could just be, the newness factor. It could be a placebo effect, and I don't know if that will wear off. But nevertheless, I'm really happy so far with those results. And a part of that energy and overall mental health is that I have to do movement. I have to do some form of exercise every day. And it's sort of a catch-22. When you're feeling so depressed and unmotivated and you feel like there's so much to do, it's so hard to just do the simple thing. And for me, that's 20 minutes of exercise that I know is going to positively impact everything else. And now I'm able to do that. For the most part, my goal is to try to do it every day, 20 minutes, nothing major, just like a brisk walk and maybe jog a little bit. But honestly, if I wind up skipping a day, I'm not beating myself up about it. I just get back on the horse, so to speak, the next day. And the other thing that I think is helping, the other new thing that I'm trying this year is, let me go get it because I realized I didn't prepare for it, is this Panda planner. So I had heard about this, and it's a nicely bound book, and I had been using the bullet journal, but not really using it to the extent that you're supposed to. And I really just found that I was buying this relatively expensive, nicely bound journal to just write lists in it, and that's all I did with it. So when I read about the Panda planner, it intrigued me because it is a way of planning your life, but it also gives you all of these prompts to help encourage happiness. So in your daily page, you have a morning review, right? And it asks you to list 3 things you're grateful for and 3 things you're excited about. It has an area for an affirmation. It has a little section where you can mark down what exercise you did, which is perfect for me. And actually, I should mention that your daily page is actually 2 pages. So you get 2 full pages to write stuff down. Then you have a list of 5 priorities, and then on the right side you have your schedule, and then you have a separate area for tasks, which I also really appreciate because there might be a bunch of things I'd like to get done, and then I have a schedule that I absolutely have to stick to, and it's a question of like, well, when can I fit these little tasks into my schedule. So I find that to be very useful. And then there's just like a little block for notes. In this one, I mentioned that I actually, I woke up kind of achy and stiff in my joints. I did have a drink and a half last night, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. And then you have an end of day review with today's wins and how I'll improve. It puts the focus on the wins because you have space to write 3 of them and you only have space to write one little thing of how you'll improve, which I think is great. I think it's valid to just say, okay, I think a couple weeks ago I had forgotten to do something by a deadline, and how I'll improve, I just wrote, not pushing things off and writing them down so I don't forget them. Well, the other thing too, it's like, okay, in the notes section, I noted that I woke up real achy and stiff in the joints, and I was like, one of the things that I really feel will help with that is yoga. So I'm going to find a way to get back into yoga and see if that helps. I'm really liking this. That's the daily, and this is not sponsored or anything. I wish, hey, if you see this Panda planner, please get in touch with me. But this is brand new. I've only started doing this. There's also a week section. So you plan out your week, which is super cool. And then you have priorities for the week. You also have a section that says personal, work, family, friends, relationship, and a little block for, what you're going to do for each of those areas. Habits I'm focusing on developing, learn something new, passion project. So it's nice because you get this way of sort of having your overview. And of course you have the month view as well, so you can really focus on what are some things I want to get done this week, or rather this month, and then can I get them done this week, prioritize that, and can I get them done today in this day. Yep, really enjoying it. Got out my sticker book, giving myself some little stars here, if you can see that, and just trying to make the whole thing a fun process. Whoops, I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a 10%. I swear to God, I'm not sponsored. It's a 10% off coupon code. So I will give that to a friend. So yeah. So, those are some things that I think are really helping me to feel better and to really finally get to a place where I'm, for the most part, happy. And again, this hypnotherapy thing is relatively new, so I expect, of course, there's going to be ups and downs. That's normal, but so far so good. There's a couple of other little things to note that I have seen how they've made a difference in my life. One of them is, I don't mean to sound like Jamie Lee Curtis here, she's awesome. I found that really making a point to eat a yogurt every day is super helpful to my gut. And I've been eating a wide array of different kinds of yogurts, cashew yogurts, coconut yogurts. So they haven't all been dairy. I do have some in my fridge now that are dairy. But I find just trying to eat a variety of that has been so incredibly helpful. And the other thing is, ever since I filmed the video for my first 100 subscribers, where my husband made me a cake, and I saw the horrifying footage of me eating a piece of cake like it was a fresh kill, like I was afraid somebody else was going to get to it, and shoving that thing in my mouth so quickly. I was just so nauseated. And I knew I was a fast eater, but sometimes you have to really have the mirror up there and really see it. And the camera and filming yourself is great for that. But after that, I really vowed to slow myself down. And that's made a huge difference. I just have found that I don't want to eat as much. Because before I was shoveling it in my face so quickly that I couldn't even notice the signals from my brain as to whether I was full or not. So now I make a point to put my fork down and not keep shoveling the food in. Put my fork down. My rule was I think twice during a meal, but now I notice that because it's a habit, I'll put a bunch of food in, and then put my fork down. So that's really helped to slow me down. And really just kind of check in and notice and say, okay, how am I feeling? All right, great, take a bite. Because I think sometimes I would sit down and I would start and it was like I was in an eating contest and just be shoveling that food in, and the goal was just to get it all in my mouth. And it's no, I might be satiated, two-thirds, can I do math? Yeah, 2/3 of the way through. and not force that last bite in. If I want it, great, but like not just shove it in just because it's there, you know. So that's a little kind of sidebar of additional things that I think are just sort of helping out with my day-to-day happiness, overall well-being, blah, blah, blah. Of course, I am continuously working on this and I will keep you posted. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and please put any comments or questions you have about anything in the comment section below. And please do go ahead and like this video, share it, blah, 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 all that good stuff. And thanks so much.